Welcome back. New data from the Veterans Experience Office at the Department of Veterans Affairs says 79% of veterans trust the agency. Trust in the VA from veterans is up 24% since 2016. John Boerstler is the Chief Veterans Experience Officer at the Department of Veterans Affairs. John, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. How did you complete the survey, the mechanics behind the numbers that you have on what veterans think about the VA?
Yes, sir. Well, thanks so much for having me, and it's an honor to be able to talk about this fantastic data that we've been collecting for several years. But now with Secretary McDonough coming on to now serve and really expand our sacred duty to serve more veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors, has really challenged the Experience Office and many of our colleagues to publish these trust scores on a more routine and transparent basis. So we have been collecting this data, the VSignals is what we call it, or Veteran Signals surveys since 2016. And over that time, we have seen a dramatic increase, 24% increase over that time in what we call VA trust scores, which measure ease, effectiveness, and emotion. And I can talk a little bit more about that. But there's been over 6 million respondents, which give us a huge amount of qualitative and quantitative feedback. So on the qualitative side, we actually get open text comments, which about 66% of those comments are actually compliments on their care or the services and the benefits that veterans receive from VA. About 20% of those are concerns, and 13% are recommendations on how to improve care or the delivery of benefits. So we pay attention and respond to each of those responses. And on the quantitative side, of course, we're asking specific questions that veterans can either strongly agree with, be neutral on, or disagree or strongly disagree. So it's almost very similar to a net promoter score system and trust agreement.
You have one of the demographic notes that jumped out at me is this, and Nicola Grisco on Federal News Network wrote about it in this way. Older veterans tend to trust VA more than their younger counterparts, while men tend to trust VA more than women veterans. You have a tremendous cohort of people that you're serving, World War II generation all the way up to War on Terror, with a large group in the War on Terror group and also among Vietnam veterans. What do you think the difference is in those cohorts that you have older vets that trust VA more than younger?
That's a great question. And we are conducting, so our office has the unique opportunity to conduct all of the human-centered design work for the VA enterprise-wide. So not just healthcare, not just benefits, not just cemetery and memorial affairs, but every part of VA. And what we're doing to uncover more of the insights from that human-centered design process, and when also paired with the VSignals survey data, is to better understand what the customer needs are based on age, based on gender, based on sexual orientation, based on race and ethnicity, so that we can design better for many of the underserved customers that we're working with. And when I say customers, of course, I mean veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors. So many different types of customers that we do serve, not just veterans. And so it's incredibly important for us moving forward yes, these trust scores are fantastic. Yes, we have great capabilities and tools to collect that data and to analyze that data and continue our work. But how can we better design for those populations, particularly veterans under 50 and those under 40 and even under 30 who trust VA a lot less, and women veterans compared to male veterans who trust VA a lot less? How can we design specifically for these populations so they not only become our customers, but we can make sure that they choose VA for the rest of their lives?
You'll survey veterans about COVID-19. What will you ask them? Will it be directly related just to the VA care they received regarding COVID-19? Or will there be other issues about the coronavirus that you want to ask your vets?
We're actually going to be measuring their experience in getting the vaccine at VA facilities nationwide. And so VA has distributed or vaccinated millions of veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors. And it's been an incredible effort that the Veterans Health Administration has been able to really assist our country in overcoming the difficulties of the pandemic, and also make sure that vaccines are incredibly accessible. So we're not only going to be asking veterans was it easy, to get care, to navigate, to get to register for the vaccine appointment? Were they satisfied with the experience? Did they feel respected? Do they trust VA to continue to deliver this kind of care in the future for them? And report on that so that we can continue to design for future vaccination efforts. Considering that the fact that we may have to have booster shots in the future, how can we better design the experience based on all of that data that we're collecting? We're also going to be surveying veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors around why they're choosing not to get a vaccine, or if they may be less confident in the vaccine, so that we can better design not only outreach and engagement efforts, but also the enrollment or the appointment process and the actual delivery of the vaccine when they arrive at a VA facility.
John, we have about 30 seconds left, and you also are going to engage short surveys for your employees. What do you want to learn from the team inside the VA, and how do you expect that to manifest itself among the people that you serve?
Yes, and I think this is critically important because you can't have a world-class customer experience without a world-class employee experience. So right now, like most federal agencies, VA has an all-employee survey once a year. So that's kind of like your annual checkup. Well, what we want to do in partnership with our partners at the Human Resources Department is to really provide more of that consistent check-in and ensure that we're not only understanding that employee experience from onboarding to promotion to retiring, but also designing around that to make sure that our employees have that world-class experience so that then they can give that world-class experience back to the customers.
John Boerstler, thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.